Hey puzzle besties, welcome back to my channel, Javi's Puzzle Odyssey. I'm Javi and today I am going to be speed puzzling, another speed puzzling video. Again, as I mentioned previously, I am going to try to do 1 week a video of speed puzzling with a puzzle review or a puzzle along, and then I'll throw in some puzzle hauls in there as well. But today, for this video, I'm going to be speed running 3 puzzles this time. Last time I did 1 puzzle, it was the Pokemon puzzle, and it took me, I think it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes. That was challenging. So this time I asked my partner to pick out 3 puzzles for me. I gave him a stack of ones I wanted to do, and then I let him pick between the stacks. And to get started, I will show you what I have. But before we do, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Drop a comment. Let me know your speed puzzling experiences. Let me know how you guys, if you guys ever speed puzzle any of the puzzles I'm about to show you and what your score was. I love to hear about it. Or if you try speed puzzling at all. So the first one I'm going to show you is called Evening Sushi. The second one is called the London Postcard. Let's just make sure. Yep. And then the third one, which I do have already completed sitting behind me, is called Ballon Valley. Now for this video, I asked all my friends, I asked my friends and family, I showed them the puzzles, and I asked them, how long do you think I'm gonna take for each of these puzzles? Because I was curious to see, like, you know, they watched my last video, they saw how long I took with that one. That one was pretty challenging, but I wanted to see what they thought of for these 3 puzzles. And just to go over, for the Evening Sushi puzzle, my guesses were, Jeff guessed at 3 hours, Zoe at 2 hours and 30 minutes, Elisa at 1 hour and 30 minutes, and Xavier at 2 hours. My guess was 2 hours. The London Postcard, we have Jeff at 3 hours, Zoe at 2 hours and 30 minutes, Lisa at 1 hour, Xavier at 2 hours, and I think I can do this in around 2 hours. Let's see. I would like to get under 2 hours if that's possible, but we shall see. And then for the Ballon Valley, we have Jeff at 3 hours, Zoe at 2 hours and 30 minutes, Elisa at 1 hour and 30 minutes, and Xavier at 2 hours. Now, I know my guess says 2 hours, but honestly, I think that this one's going to take a bit longer. I will speed run each puzzle, tell you about my experience, and then we'll go over the scores at the end and my final thoughts on how I did on each puzzle. So we'll get into the time lapses. And also don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Drop a comment. Turn on the post notification bell to receive alerts on when my puzzling videos will be up, puzzle besties. I appreciate it. Thank you. Alright guys, I really did not have a strategy for this puzzle. I just really wanted to get the puzzle pieces flipped all up, facing upwards, and try to assemble by color coordination. Now there's a big chunk of green with like these striped lines, which I thought would probably go pretty fast, and which it took me almost 30 minutes to get to this point, and I don't even have any edges. The edges to me seem really complicated, so I kind of just sorted the edges out, put them to the side, and kind of just worked on the green area, which, you know, we have the green plate mat, I should call it, or whatever it is, I'm not too sure. And then the sushi bowls. This puzzle kind of gave me some anxiety before I started it. And when I say anxiety, I'm just being dramatic. It just made me nervous to take on right away, but it actually wasn't that bad. I really enjoyed putting this one together, if I'm being honest. And as you can see, I am getting really close to the Pokemon puzzles, well, past the Pokemon puzzle score, 2 hours and 40 minutes. God, I was not expecting this one to take this long. Alright guys, on to the Air Balloon Valley puzzle. This one made me a little nervous too, because it is a very busy image. You have a bunch of hot air balloons and there's a lot going on. I did take a different strategy with this puzzle. I started off only with the top border because it was the most obvious color to grab and it worked in my favor. Sorry that you guys can't see the timer here, but I did end up moving it so that you guys can see where I was at with how much time we took on this puzzle. How much time I took on this puzzle. But I did think it was a little troublesome. I was very nervous about putting the edges together, but I did manage to put most of them together, but it was very confusing because the bottom half of the puzzle had a lot of shadow in the imaging. It was bright and colorful, but it was a lot of shadowing in this puzzle. And I think I really struggled with seeing the shadows at least. But I did enjoy it. I will enjoy this time lapse for a moment. You can see my timer is back in frame. I managed to fix it. There was a pause at some point. I had to grab something from the door and I came back and just hit continue. I didn't wait, study the box or anything. I just picked up from where I left off at that point. I was a little upset that I had to pause it, but it was totally fine because I didn't stare at the image any longer. And as you can see, we have a lot of the air balloons put together, and they were the most obvious parts during this puzzle. I did not do any separating of pieces. I didn't separate any colors. I kind of just flipped all the pieces over and just grabbed as I was going. And I was just putting them in, putting them in, putting them in. I honestly thought this puzzle was going to take longer than 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But to my surprise, when I noticed it was getting close to the 2-hour mark, I was like, wait a minute. This one's going faster than the evening sushi. All right, and on to the London Postcard, guys. I am so sorry, I was not recording the beginning of this time lapse, and obviously I cannot start it over because it won't be my first actual score. So when I realized I started recording and I hit play, and guys, I managed to get this one under 2 hours. I was so happy. 1 hour and 55 minutes. Yay! Welcome back, guys. We did it. I speed ran all 3 of these puzzles. I did one every day just to kind of pace myself. And to my surprise, the evening sushi took the longest. 2 hours and 40 minutes. I really did not think this one was going to take that long, but it did. And it was very, very, very dark. All the pieces was dark. Like when you look at it on the box, you don't necessarily think about how the puzzle pieces are going to look, and they were actually really dark. And then we did the Air Balloon Valley, and this was the one I thought that was going to be the longest, but it actually wasn't. It was the sushi one. This one took less time. And I think it was about 2 hours and 10 minutes or somewhere around there. I forget, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then we got the London Postcard. Unfortunately, we missed the entire beginning of the time lapse. I thought I was recording, and I ended up getting a phone call, which usually if I'm recording on my phone, the time lapse, then the call wouldn't come through. So the call came through and it actually was never recording. So I did have to pause on this one as well. And I hit continue right after the phone call, and I jumped right back into it. There was a slight pause, probably like 5 seconds before I started puzzling really quick, and then I realized I didn't hit the timer. So the time is probably not actually right, but I do think I would still be under the 2 hour mark. But I think I'm getting better, especially with certain images. So, and I will continue to keep practicing, and at some point I will create a video, maybe a few months down the line, coming back to these puzzles and see how I score with more practice from that point. So thank you all for joining me today. Let me know in the comments, what did you think of the puzzles? Did you take any guesses? If you did, drop them down below. Let me know what did you think how long I was gonna take to do these puzzles. But have a good day, everyone. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.